Welcome to our session on the SAP Analytics Cloud and how we can suggest you can transform your financial planning. We'll be taking two use cases out of the industry. And, well, as I had said, let us introduce ourselves now. So, I'm Russell Saad. I'm a Senior Solutions Architect here with Planning and Analytics, our department at Westernacher, which deals with things like this. And if I may also now introduce my colleague, Mark.
Hello, everybody. My name is Mark Mrosek, and I'm Senior Project Manager here at Westernacher and dealing with the analytics projects also connected to financial planning. So I'm happy to have you with us.
I'll explain a little bit about how we can actually do financial forecasts within SAC itself and talk a bit about the predictive.
And then I would follow up and take you on a short road through headcount and personal cost planning inside SAC. And I would like also to share with you insights of our project that we have done at Mitsubishi Power Europe, where we spend a lot of time thinking what is the best way to do this headcount and personal cost planning.
After which we can have a little bit of a summary and wrap up before we open the floor to you to ask your questions and see how we can help you understand what we've been sharing.
So let us start with sales forecasting in SAC.
So here I'm going a little bit into our SAP Analytics Cloud. So this, by the way, is what we would call a dashboard. The dashboards allow us to present information, particularly for planning, in a very visual way. So very often if you're doing sales forecasting, you will need to get hold of those forecasts, for example, from your account executives. And so you'll either need to give them the ability to upload a file into one of our cloud systems, or alternatively, to enter the data directly, or even better, if you're using something like Salesforce, to have the ability to extract their plans directly out of that into a real predictive tool like this. So in this case, let us pretend we've already done that. And this is actually something we did do for one of our clients. We've received from the various account handlers historical data on how the sales have been going. We've also been able to pull in their best guesses for coming months. We can now take these and compare them against a purely statistical forecast. So a statistical forecast here is useful because it gives us a trend, and that's why it's helpful to have such things immediately available to you. Often we need to be able to give context to what we're looking at. Can we actually find a pattern? Are we perhaps being overly optimistic? This gives us, if we're their managers, the chances to check and question this and then work on different versions, because that's actually what's built into the Analytics Cloud. We're able to take whatever we've been working on and immediately turn this into a planning scenario so we can jot down and see what might happen. And at the end of the day, depending on how we do our workflows, we can polish this up and choose which one we want to work with. But before I hand you over to Mark, let me just bring in the point. This is also a predictive tool. It's not just for planning and data entry. Statistical forecasting is built in. So the moment I want to see a time series, lo and behold, I'm able to extrapolate out a plan. The cloud's busy crunching its way through several years' worth of sales data, as you can see, but it will then be able to forecast a particular trend and include it. And this gives that all-important context.
Thank you, Russ. So let me give you some bits of how you can do a personal and headcount planning in SAC. So what you see here now is just some demo material where we come to the basis of what personal cost and headcount planning is about. So Usually you would find this separated for sure because it's about personal data, but out of reasons to show this to you, we have brought it to one sheet. And usually you will have cost center owners that would like to plan their own department and to directly see what this is all giving as an impact out of their planning. So what we have here is that we have actual data up to September 2020, and after September 2020, the plan data starts. And we have pre-filled something in, and now we need to change our plan. And this is where it becomes really easy to do this with SAP Analytics Cloud. You can just change the amount, and let's say we want to hire an additional junior engineer. We can just enter this amount, and you directly see the cells that have been changed. And of course, you would like to copy this till April. And now we see this has been taken over. From May on, we say we will not have any additional juniors, but we will have these juniors becoming standard engineers. This we have now done. And of course, as we now have a big change to our department, we would like to see what is the cost impact out of this. To do this, you can just run a so-called data action that will calculate on the fly what the impact is out of this. This short example shows very well what a headcount and personal cost planning is about. And this is what we also have done at our lighthouse customer at Mitsubishi Power Europe. Here, of course, we had these stories split up. So there's one part that is all about the headcount planning itself, and one part that only human resources is able to take a look at, and that is about personal cost. So here, now you can see how the impact on the personal cost has been directly calculated. For Mitsubishi Power Europe, this was an extensive use case. So we had about 700 employees that need to be planned with about 30 to 40 cost accounts for personal cost and about 12 type of FTE that need to be calculated, all on the one. So this was something that we set up together with Mitsubishi, and to make sure that no one else is able to get on data that is restricted to him, we set up a sophisticated security concept, which is easy to implement with SAP Analytics Cloud. By using authorizations based on the cost center, we could first of all make sure that only the cost center manager is able to access data from the regarding cost center. By using the folder authorization concept, we could split up the different planning levels, having the personal cost section only connected to the human resources department, and the headcount planning connected to the cost center planning. And with this, we were very successful, and we can say that Mitsubishi is now running 100% on SAP Analytics Cloud in planning as well as in reporting with regards to headcount. And therefore, I would now hand back to you, Russ.
Thank you. So let us now jump into the pièce de résistance. What have we been looking at today? So the point is, of course, that SAP Analytics Cloud is a pretty powerful tool. And if you're doing any form of financial planning, you've got a whole load of things out of the box. If you do top-down planning, if you want to make top-level adjustments, you have disaggregation, you have drill downs, You have built-in machine learning. You've got various predictive tools. You only saw an incredibly simple one with me. You have the ability to constantly generate new scenarios and versions because it assumes that's what you're going to be doing. The point is, we want to explore possibilities. We want to be able to use the tool to quickly run up some calculations and see what would happen if. So what if, before we actually make a decision. As you've also seen from Mark, you can perform some quite complicated calculations. You don't just simply have key figures, but we've got the ability to run data actions where we have quite involved calculations. So at our client Mitsubishi, personnel costs, particularly within Germany, it is a huge array of conditions and cost elements depending on everyone's particular employment level and form. And with a button, we can actually do that. Plus, of course, things like a built-in allocation engine, which is often extremely necessary. Plus, a workflow system, which we didn't get to show you, mainly because it's a little bit too simple and boring. It's like having a calendar. But if you're not ready to go quite into the cloud, if you want more familiar tools which are a bit more powerful, then there are also plugins for Excel, so that you've got the best of both worlds. You've got your familiar spreadsheet, and yet you've got the entire backing of SAP's premier strategic planning tool.
And of course, Westernacher has made up its mind how we can support you best when going for financial planning in SAP Analytics Cloud. And we can offer you support by having prepared 4 packages that focus on the main areas where we see that we can help you out in getting a jump start with SAP Analytics Cloud. So we have one package focusing on sales forecasting and revenue planning, where, for example, your account manager would love to see and directly dig into the planning and see the results from changes that he does. And as was before showed, this is something where you can use predictive analytics, smart insights to get more details. What I've shown also to you before is headcount and personal cost planning. Also here we can offer our best practices, how to set this up in SAP Analytics Cloud. You can go even a step further and have a full cost center planning, focusing on OPEX planning, CAPEX planning, internal orders planning, using the built-in allocation engine in SAP Analytics Cloud. And if you want to bring it to the full end, you can go for financial planning in SAC, which is basically a fully integrated planning, including a cash flow planning, P&L planning, currency conversion for any data coming from multiple companies. And to go even further, we can integrate this with your S/4HANA system. So if you already have S/4HANA, there are nice APIs that can directly take your data out from S4, put it into SAC, where you can do the planning. And if you like to, you can even write it back to S4. And this is something where we as Westernacher would like to help you with. These are fixed price packages with individual content for your own company. So it's not a template that we offer here. We offer you best practices and a solution that fits your company best. And if you would like to have more information on this, we are happy to invite you to our website, or you can just contact us directly.